Greetings, Pasadenans and heroes everywhere. I hope that you are not on fire. It is I, your friendly neighborhood Rabbi John Carrier. This is RabbiChat, brought to you by PJTC, Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. Today, I want to fill you in on what our virtual high holidays are going to be looking like, and make sure you know how to connect with them right after this brief musical interlude. Stick around. All right, gang, I don't know if it's crazy where you are, but it's crazy where I are. Hold on, let me show you my face for what it's worth. Nice to see everybody today. It is I, your friendly neighborhood Rabbi John Carrier, coming to you from the RabbiChat show, brought to you by Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center, simulcasting live to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I seem to still have the problem where normally I'd be reading a unified chat of people coming in from all of those platforms. It's not working for some reason, and so frankly I've had enough tech support to deal with this week. So I'm sorry if I'm not able to see your chat. I'm going to try something else here. Hold on one second. I'm going to bring in my handy-dandy laptop, a Reno, not the one that I'm streaming from, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up YouTube and Facebook on my laptop and see if I can read your chats that way. I tell you what, talk about hacking technology. One second. Let's see. I'm going to go on my Facebook here, see if I can Pasadena. This is where you can find all sorts of stuff, by the way. You go on the Facebook, look for Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. There's a pretty icon. That's a picture of, looks like a tree and lots of colors. That's actually a picture of the Ark in our sanctuary, which many people have not seen in person in about 6 months, but I'm lucky enough to see it a couple times a week. Although I don't know if you caught live our services last week, I was kvetching a little bit on some changes that we've had to make, where now the cantor's in one sanctuary area, I'm in a completely different sanctuary at our wonderful Nell Chapel, and so we got on the old Zoomerino and did it that way. Nevertheless, it's nice to see a beautiful picture of our Ark, and I'm on the Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center Facebook page. So check that out. It looks like I'm now one of 3 people watching this live stream. So I'm going to open that up so that you can chat with me there. I'm going to keep following the chat there. And now, through the magic of television, I'm going to also go to YouTube and just switch back and forth. I see some friends have already hacked it from last week and are in the Twitch chat with me, which I can read. I see Diwalexon says Shalom Lekulam, Nawa64, Shalom y'all. Hope everyone is safe in Pasadena. Baruch Hashem, as far as I can tell, everyone is safe in Pasadena. I haven't heard of anybody getting injured or lose their life in the fires that are close to Pasadena right now. There are wildfires. There have been fatalities all up and down the West Coast. It's probably most stirring for me was seeing a satellite picture of the entire west coast of the North American continent, it seems, and the entirety from, let's say, Baja California all the way up into Washington State, just a big cloud of gray-brown smoke from space. And that was really disturbing to see. Not as disturbing as it is for some of my friends to see those flames from their backyards. I will tell you that today in Burbank, it looks positively interplanetary right now. This is, their wildfires have been going on. This is the Bobcat fire specifically. I've been following Twitter hashtag Bobcat Fire for the latest updates. And this Bobcat Fire in Angeles National Forest is, I think it started on the 6th. It started on, that would have been Sunday. It's now about 24,000 acres, 0% contained. And there are lots of people who are a part of the PJTC community who live in the, let's say, Altadena, Sierra Madre area. These are some towns that are to the east of PJTC where we are, and they've been on kind of voluntary evacuation. I don't know anybody who's been involuntarily evacuated. I do know some people who are voluntarily evacuating because the air quality has gotten so bad there. But all this stuff started happening on Sunday, and then by Tuesday night, I'm in a group text where we're trying to figure out what to do. You know, sort of not trying to figure out, we've kind of figured it out, but making an active plan for what to do if the fire gets too close to the temple, God forbid. And so we've got a plan. You know, there are certain, of course, human life absolutely comes first. Where nobody's holding the doors closed or anything for that. But we also have some very valuable things. Principally, after human life is our Sifrei Torah, the Torah scrolls. What do we do when there's a fire? Well, we had a fire a couple of years ago, and I know our wonderful custodian, Robert Brown, alav shalom, may peace be upon his memory, you know, threw on a kippah and went and grabbed the Torah scrolls and put them in his truck and drove them away, and made sure that everybody was safe. Now, he's no longer with us, but in his stead, we do have a plan for the Sifrei Torah and for certain valuable hardware. You know, lots of data we have on our membership and like business records and things like that, so that we can provide continuous high quality service to our members, even, God forbid, we lose the building. And that it doesn't look like it's close to happening yet, but these fires are crazy, winds can change very quickly, and we might have to deal with that. So I'm just trying to see what app on here has my camera open. Okay, I'm gonna shut that down. There we go. So I see Christy from San Bernardino is here, says shalom friends, says hi to D. Willexon and Nawa64. Nawa64 says we've had bad smoke here in Colorado and ash falling on Sunday. Better now, post our 60-degree temperature drop and September snowstorm. So went from ash to snow real quick in Colorado. I was going to say the fire started on Sunday. Tuesday night we're making a plan for the Torah scrolls. Today was the first day that I'd actually seen ash fall in my backyard. So that's happening. Smells like smoke outside, even though we're probably 20 or 30 miles away from where the fire is. That's how this stuff spreads, and it has been like a gloomy yellow sky all day. So that's the situation that we're in. I don't know if anybody has a bingo yet on their 2020 bingo card, but I know some people are getting pretty close. So let's see if I can see the chat on Facebook. There we are. Amanda Lithuan says, hi, Rabbi John. Billy Ezel says, hey, Rabbi John C. So that's working. Now let's go check the old YouTube arena. We are live now. And maybe on a bit of a lag, but this is technology being what it is. I can see the live chat on Twitch. The live chat hasn't been visible to me on YouTube or Facebook, so I'm working around it. Just like, hold on, I want to mute this so I can't hear myself 3 times. Just like we had an important hack the other day where we figured out how to live stream our services via Zoom to 3 different live streaming platforms. I felt pretty smart. I was like, yep, that's this guy. But no, it was a team effort where we figured out how to run services on Zoom, have it streamed to StreamSpot, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. And that reminds me of what I really want to talk about today is the High Holidays services that we're doing at PJTC. Make sure that you know you are invited to join us and how to get there, and it's for free. So I want to make that super duper clear. This is something I've been very, very proud of in our community, is that the leaders, basically from the very beginning of our considerations of what High Holy Days may look like this year, declared a value of leading with generosity, which means that we, among other things, what this means is that all of our High Holy Days services that we are live streaming are going to be available to everyone, everywhere, to join us for no charge. I know in some people from outside Judaism are like, what do you mean there's a charge to go to holiday services? What is that? In many communities, it's been a tradition, at least for 100 years, to have tickets to the High Holy Days. And again, this chafes some people. Jewish people, it chafes too. Don't let me sugarcoat that. The reality of it is that there's the High Holy Day services are the services where if you don't go to any other services, you go to the High Holy Day services, which means our campus, which accommodates, let's say, a couple hundred people on a regular basis, has to accommodate 1,000 people. And that means extra staff, that means extra custodial help, that means extra supplies, all sorts of stuff to make the holidays wonderful for everyone. And so many congregations have either sold tickets or had tickets as a part of membership. So it helps support the prayer service that we're creating for everybody. And certainly we've always sort of said to people, if you don't, if the tickets or membership are something you can afford and you need to come to services or want to come to services, talk to us. We'll make sure it happens. Don't worry about it. It's also been sort of a security move, right? If you have people signing up for tickets, people who's coming. You know that at least if they're walking in the door, their name is on a list someplace. And I wish this weren't true, but in the Jewish community, we do have concerns about security as to who's on our campus. For reasons of a history of oppression and a history of anti-Semitic violence and things like that. So for all these reasons in the past, we've had tickets, and sometimes those tickets have had a cost associated with them. But this year, we are recognizing that, look, this is a hard time for everyone. I don't know who's having fun right now, but nobody that I talk to is having fun right now. So we want to make sure that everyone who wants to attend our services is able to, and the cost is not a barrier. So what we're doing is we are making our registration page publicly available. And I don't know if you're seeing it on my platform or the platform that you're on, but I put a link to it in the description of this video. And just in case, I'm going to put another link to it in, look at that, what goes on, looks like we're still using the title from last week for this live stream. So what I'm going to put in YouTube is a link to, hold on just a second, on all the platforms right now, bear with me, I know this is bad radio, but I'm going to put a link to our High Holy Days info page. And on that page, anybody who can hear my voice or anybody who's watching this later can find out everything that's going on at PJTC, and you can you can download the wonderful PDF brochure that we produced, and you can RSVP for joining us for the High Holy Day services. Give me a minute to share that link around, and then I'm going to explain to you exactly why it's important to RSVP, because it is important. PJTC.net, High Holy Days. I'll just tell you in case you're an auditory learner. It's pjtc.net /High Holy Days. That's not holidays, it's holy days. High Holy Days. It's 3 words, no spaces. 2020. High Holy Days 2020. Let me put that in the YouTube commentary. Comment. That happened. Or is this from pass it? Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, there's that. And then let me put it in the Facebook arena. There is that. Look for PJ Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center commented, and I just put a link there for you. And then put it on Twitch here as well. Boop. Making technical noises. Boop. And the reason, while I'm doing this, I just want to make sure you understand the reason that it is important to us that you RSVP is because we've got a lot of great stuff to share with you. Control A, copy, more technical jargon. Control V for paste, and what on earth? Log into Twitch. Take off, Hoser. Okay, so look for pjtc.net/High Holy Days 2020, and you'll find all the stuff that's going on and a link to register. Why is it important to register? This is actually super duper important. When you register, first off, it's going to tell us how many people are coming, and we have to maybe adjust our bandwidth and seat licenses and things like that to make sure that we can accommodate everybody who's going to be live streaming the service simultaneously, right? Make sure that Facebook can handle it. Make sure YouTube can handle it. It's like, oh, they're big companies. You'd be surprised. Make sure Streamlabs or StreamSpot and our Zoom account can handle it. I've been to events where there's great Zoom events where it got capped out at a certain level. We need to make sure we know how many people are coming. So that helps us put on the best service that we can. But here's how it helps you. When you register, and our deadline, I believe, is tomorrow. So September 11th, always a dark day in my memory, but that's the day. It's Friday. Is September 11th, and on September 11th, we have to know by September 11th because on Monday we want to gather all those people and we're going to send you a very important email. And you're like, oh boy, another email. No, this one is going to be chock full of good stuff. This one is going to have the links to all the different places you can view the services that suit you, whether you want to join us through Zoom, through StreamSpot, which is a web-based thing, through Facebook Live. They'll also be on Facebook Live and on our YouTube Live channel as well. Look, if you don't register and you just come over to Facebook Live, like maybe you're doing right now, you'll still be able to see it. But here, if you do register, you're going to get some other links as well. First off, for people in the Pasadena area who want to get kind of a high holidays goodie bag, if you will, some extra materials that we have for you to prep for the high holidays. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. There's some, flyers and papers and other things that are going on up. But there's also a printout about how to do your own tashlich at home. Tashlich is something we normally do together after services on Rosh Hashanah Day 2. We normally will a bunch of us go to the Los Angeles Arboretum and cast bread into water as a traditional observance of tashlich. This is something people do between the high holidays. But we can't do that together this year. So we wanted to make sure that if you wanted to do it on your own, you knew how to do it. And so we prepared this great guide for people to take with them wherever they want to go, by themselves or with their family, and whatever your bubble looks like these days. We prepared a guide on how to roll your own tashlich, if you will. So that's in there. Also, if you want to pick up a prayer book, right? There's a special prayer book for the High Holy Days called a machzor. There's always a fun time for me every year is taking all the prayer books, all the sidurim out of the pews and replacing them with machzorim, just like turning over all of our books. I usually use Hebrew school kids for that. They work for cheap. But so there's a special prayer book that goes along with the high holidays. And you can either get if you live close enough to us to drive by and get it, or close enough that we could drive by and deliver it to you, let us know. You have to let us know in the registration process and we will have one for you. Or, if you prefer, we're going to have it up in a special place on our website that you can link to and look at it online. And so this is a great arrangement that we made with the Rabbinical Assembly, that they're going to let us share an online version of our prayer book for anybody who's registered. Like, they want people to register just so that they know who's looking at it. So if you register, not only are you going to get all the links to all the different services, and it's not just services either. In addition to regular services, we're having lots of study sessions. We're having breakout groups. In fact, during the service on Rosh Hashanah, we're going to have places that you can go to learn all sorts of cool stuff. I was just looking at the roster of teachers today. A comparison of the Unatana Tokef prayer, and it's some that might sound like gibberish to some of you, but it's this prayer in Rosh Hashanah that inspired Leonard Cohen's song "Who by Fire." And if you're familiar with Leonard Cohen, nice Jewish guy, a lot of his songs were influenced by the traditional literature and liturgy, like his song Hallelujah. We place our Psalm 150 to that tune almost on a weekly basis. So check that out. But there's a session on Unetana Tokef and Leonard Cohen's song "Who by Fire," because that song was actually inspired by the prayer, and you get to see those connections. Rabbi Jason Mann is teaching about how are the readings, the Torah readings, the Haftarah readings for the high holidays, for Rosh Hashanah specifically, relevant to our lives today. Lots of great stuff going on. I saw one title, I believe it was the Doctor's Garraway. There's a couple in our congregation who are renowned scholars in biblical studies, talking about do any liberal Jews believe in the creation story, or rather, how do we look at the creation story in Breshit after Darwin? Like once Darwin shared his theory with the world, how do we reconcile those things? So lots of fascinating discussions that are going on that you will only get links to if you register for the high holidays. So you get the services, you get it's starting to sound like a NPR fund drive. You get the services, you get links to all sorts of great breakout sessions. You can order a paper copy or get access to an electronic copy of our prayer book, and some more goodies besides that if you register. And so that's why I wanted to share the link with you today. If you go to pjtc.net/high holy days, HIGHHOLYDAYS, bunch of 4-letter words there, High Holy Days 2020, you'll get the rundown of all the cool stuff we're doing. You'll get a link to the brochure, all this great information that we prepared, explaining the high holidays, explaining the meaning behind certain rituals, plus the deets on when to show up for different stuff. Then you'll be able to register for the high holidays, see all the different formats: Facebook, YouTube, StreamSpot, Zoom. You could use to join us, and all the breakout sessions. And all you got to do is register for the services. You get all that great stuff. And I'll be happy to see your name on there. Yesterday, because I'll do anything to teach Torah. Yesterday, the folks at PJTC asked if I would record a robocall. This is the first ever robocall that I've recorded. And I point this out, in case anybody thought that was me and I just wouldn't let them speak, that was a recording of my voice. But I recorded myself just telling people how to register for the high holidays, letting them know the deadline was coming up. And then I set it and I forget it. Like I sent them the recording. I was like, okay, that's cool. A couple hours later, I get a call from PJTC, and I think, oh, it's my day off. Why are they going to be calling me? There must be some sort of horrible emergency going on. And then I'm like, hi, this is John. And on the other end is, hi, this is Rabbi John Carrier. And I don't know if any of you have ever heard yourself robocall yourself, but it's quite a treat. So really delighted to be learning about this stuff with you today. I'm just going to take a look at what's in the chat in case people have any questions. Tammy Lynn Garrison says hello. Catherine Toria Arbuthnot says blessings to you. Amanda says hi, Rabbi John. Nice to see you, Amanda. Let's see what else is going on here. I'm going to flip it over to YouTube. Carla J says hello, everyone. Hello, Carla. Nice to see you. Carla, I really appreciated something that you shared that had a checklist for bugging out in these times of fires. Listen, if anybody out there is close to where these fires are, I want you to check in. If you need anything at all, check in with us at PJTC or check in with the Jewish Federation of the San Gabriel Valley. This is a federation that covers PJTC and all the synagogues kind of on the east side of the LA metropolitan area. And a lot of that area has been affected by fires, Monrovia, Arcadia, all the way to Ontario. And so the Federation is pulling together resources to help people. If you have been evacuated or you're thinking of evacuating and you don't have a place to go, reach out to the Jewish Federation of the San Gabriels. If there's a way that we at PJTC can help you, we'd be delighted to. So let us know if you need help. This is what we're here for. We're here to take care of our neighbors, right? And because we may be some of those neighbors before long, who knows? I hope not. So if you are at risk for any of this fire stuff, I talked to somebody today who they weren't being evacuated, but they were having real trouble breathing. Like the air quality inside their home Even they had all the windows sealed up, all the doors sealed up, all the AC on, HEPA filters and room deionizers, all that stuff, and still they had toxic air quality inside their house, even though the evacuation zone was like 2 blocks away, and they have to relocate just for health reasons. So if this sounds like you, let us know. Reach out to the Jewish Federation. If you have space where you can host people who are being evacuated, let the Federation know. They are keeping a roster of those people who can host others. As long as, again, we're still in a pandemic, so be safe. Take care of your family the way you need to. But if you have room and you can host somebody in a safe way, let the Federation know. This is a serious time, and I always tell people, if somebody asks me about the value of Jewish community, my answer is always, 3 phone calls and a kugel. And I say this about a time when my brother passed away several years ago. Before I was walking to meet somebody when I got the news, and I had to call them and cancel our appointment and walk back to my house. Before I even got back to my house, I had a call from my rabbi expressing condolences, and then I got 2 more phone calls immediately, and within an hour I hear a knock on my door, and somebody from Sisterhood is there with a kugel. So that's why I say Jewish community is all about 3 phone calls and a kugel. Or it's all about, if you have extra room, you tell somebody who can tell somebody. Right? If you need extra room, if you need help, you ask for it, and we are here for you. So make sure you use those resources. If any of the fire is affecting you, call up PJTC, call up the Federation. Our numbers are on the internet. And so we'd be delighted to help you. In the meantime, God willing, everybody's safe. Nobody has to jump off anywhere. If you would like to join us for the high holidays, and I would be thrilled if you did, come to pjtc.net. Look for our high holiday page. That is pjtc.net/High Holy Days 2020, no spaces. And then get all the info about what's going on. Download our brochure to say not just what's going on, but explain the meaning behind some of this stuff. And make sure you register in order to join us. And that's important because if you register by tomorrow, on Monday, you're going to get the rundown of here's all the links and all the different ways you can join the services. Maybe some tech advice on how to get the services up on your TV so you're not looking at it on your phone. But you'll also get links to how to get a physical copy or an electronic copy of the prayer book to follow along with during the services. Info on how to do your own tashlich, and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to see if we have any questions here. Let's see. Sweet Robo Rabbi. Somebody says Robo Rabbi. That's pretty funny. Nawa64 says crazy darkness at high noon. Streets light came on here at midday. Yeah, it's looking right Arrakis-y outside. I don't know if anybody's as excited about the new Dune trailer as I am. But so the new Dune, I'm a big fan of the original Dune movie. It was David Lynch with Kyle MacLachlan and Sting and Galaxy of Stars. Really, Patrick Stewart was in that one. So many great people were in that one, and I love that movie. And it's got kind of an H.R. Geiger designed motif going on. Big fan of his work, and I'm just as excited for the new Dune movie that's coming out. I don't know if anybody knew that about me, what a geek I am. Some people didn't like the Pink Floyd in the background. I thought it was an interesting selection of the last track of The Wall is kind of the soundtrack for the trailer. So I'm unreasonably excited for this film. But then I saw the trailer and they're showing, Arrakis, Dune, desert planet. And you see this big orange sky. I'm like, oh, it looks like San Francisco. And that's a bad thing to make fun of, so I'm not going to make fun of it. But that's what San Francisco looks like right now. It looks like the planet Arrakis. And that somebody else said when we saw the sunrise the other day that it looked a little bit like Star Wars, this big bright red sun with no kind of corona around it. I shouldn't say corona these days. But outside the sky is sort of yellow-brown, and if you can bear to look directly toward the sun is just like a little disc with no sunbeams coming off it. So it's a scary time to be alive. Thank God you're alive. And it's going to keep being scary. The good news is we're in it together. So with all of that, thank you all so much for joining me today. If I didn't answer any questions today, I just wanted to make sure you knew how to connect with us for the High Holy Days. Again, everyone is welcome. It is free of charge. Donations welcome. I have to say that. We could always use some donations because we've invested a lot in the technology of this. But everybody is welcome, free of charge. Please register so that we know you're coming and can make sure you have the best experience and get all the goodies that we've prepared for you. And as always, it's my delight to connect with all of you. And I've seen a lot of you in our Elul at PJTC app. That's going to be like 70 plus people in there. That's super dope. So thank you all for being a part of this community. Until next time, Pasadenans and heroes everywhere. Peace.